Have you ever wondered what generation you're a part of? Or maybe you've wondered, what's the generation of my child or my parent? Today I'll give you a rundown of generation names, years, and ages of our 7 living generations. Find out which of the 7 living generations is yours. So who are the 7 living generations? Here's a quick generation breakdown. As you can see on this generational chart, starting from the bottom, we have the greatest generation, which is our oldest living generation. They were born between 1901 and 1927. Their age is between 100 years old and 126 years old. This generation is also known as the GI generation, which stands for Government Issue Generation, because they came into adulthood to fight in World War II. The Silent Generation, born 1928 to 1945. Their age today is in their 80s and 90s. They're known as the Silent Generation because they came from a very traditional background, and they lived by the motto, children should be seen but not heard. Baby Boomers, born between 1946 and 1964. Their age today is in their 60s and 70s. Baby Boomers were born during a population boom and were once the largest generation in human history. And currently, they're the wealthiest generation in human history. Gen X, born 1965 to 1980. Their age today is in their late 40s and their 50s. Gen X was labeled as X because they were the unknown entity as the younger generation at that time. But the name stuck because the majority of Gen Xers don't like to be defined by other generations. They are sometimes known as the MTV generation because they were the first generation to grow up with the music television channel MTV. Millennials, born 1981 to 1996. Today, their age is in the 30s and 40s. They were nicknamed Millennials because they're the first generation to enter into adulthood at the turn of the millennia in 2000. But they were originally known as Generation Y because they're the generation that came after Gen X. Gen Z, born 1997 to 2012. Their age now is in their teens and their 20s. Gen Z is known as a tech-savvy generation and the first generation to grow up completely on the internet. Gen Alpha, born 2013. Their end date has yet to be determined because they're still children at this time. So their age is younger than 12 years old. Which generation are you? Find out more on genunison.com by clicking on our generation guides and find out about the formative events of each generation.